Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the most powerful civil rights leaders in America. His passionate yet peaceful protests helped bring attention to the unfair treatment of different races in America, which led to important political changes. Martin Luther King was also a skilled speaker who inspired both black and white people with his moving words. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on the 15th of January 1929 in Atlanta. His father and grandfather were pastors at an African American Baptist church. He studied at Morehouse College in Atlanta, which had segregated schooling. Later, he went to Crozer Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania and Boston University. While at university, Martin Luther King learned about the huge unfairness and injustice faced by black Americans. He was especially influenced by Gandhi's idea of peaceful protest. This matched his own Baptist beliefs. At 24, King married Coretta Scott, a young and talented woman. After marriage, he became a pastor at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. This wasn't just about being a pastor, but also about being a source of hope in a time and place that really needed positive change. A very important moment in Martin Luther King's life was the Montgomery bus boycott, which he played a big part in. This boycott also became a very important moment for the civil rights movement, getting a lot of attention from the national media. On the 5th of December 1955, something seemingly small set off a big change. Rosa Parks, who fought for civil rights, decided not to give up her seat on a bus meant only for white people. This one action broke the strict rule that kept black and white people apart on Montgomery buses. Even when the bus company refused to change, Martin Luther King stepped in. He organized a protest where black people decided not to use the city buses. This protest continued for many months, making everyone see how unfair things were. Finally, the highest court, the Supreme Court, said something important. They declared that this separation of people, called segregation, was not allowed by the Constitution. In these simple acts of courage, a big change started to take shape, leaving a lasting impact on history. After the Montgomery bus boycott succeeded, King and some other ministers started the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC. This group became like a core for the growing civil rights movement, helping it come together and become stronger. Later on, there were different opinions about what was the best way to make progress. In the 1960s, the Black Power movement gained popularity, led by people like Malcolm X and other black nationalist groups. However, King always stuck to his belief in peaceful protest and not using violence. Martin Luther King had a special talent for inspiring and influencing people with his speeches. When he spoke, he could make people feel uplifted and motivated. He was really good at giving hope to people, showing them that even though things were bad, they wouldn't stay that way forever. He often talked about God, the Bible, and his Christian faith in his speeches, which meant a lot to him. He gave speeches that didn't talk about seeking revenge, but instead focused on moving ahead positively. In 1963, he was named Man of the Year by Time magazine. This happened after he gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech during a civil rights march in Washington. The year after, Martin Luther King received a big award, the Nobel Peace Prize, for his work to make society fairer. He said he would give the prize money, which was $54,123, to the civil rights movement to help their cause. Because he had won the Nobel Prize, important people like Lyndon Johnson started asking for his advice. But King's disagreement with the Vietnam War didn't make the Johnson government like him. Also, the authorities, like the FBI, started watching him more closely. Sadly, on the 4th of April 1968, Martin Luther King was killed, just a day after he gave his final speech titled, "I've Been to the Mountaintop." As a mark of respect, America now observes a special day called Martin Luther King Day. He continues to symbolize America's fight for fairness and equal treatment, no matter the color of one's skin.